Yay! Hello, everybody. How are you? Happy Thursday. 48th Town Hall. I'm super happy to be here again with you tonight. And yeah, you saw that. So maybe hit the like, subscribe, make sure that you are following us. It just helps us to, create more content and make you expert on Evmux. So thank you everyone for joining. Let's say hello to people first before we start. So hello Darius, thank you very much for joining tonight as always. Tihano Time, thank you for joining. Tina from South Florida, thank you for joining. Joanna from Madrid, 3 a.m. Oh my god, I hope it will worth it. I'm pretty sure it will, but 3 a.m. all right, that's super cool. Hey Domino, how are you from California? Thank you for joining. Red Lipstick, thank you for joining as well. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Not taking it for granted. It's really great to see you here tonight. Just to recap what we're doing in the town halls for the new ones, we are saying hello first, and then we're focusing on a specific topic. And tonight it's going to be, let me do this. Tonight it's going to be the select starting scene feature, which is a feature we announced I think 2 weeks ago, and today we will dive deeper into the feature. So that's for today, and then we are showing a quick video really showing a demo on how to use this feature. And then we're just going through the chat Q&A, answering any questions off topic regarding Evmux, probably, usually. And that's pretty much it. So feel free to just send your questions in the chat. I'm just taking them on by their order. And that's pretty much it. I also created a nice poll for tonight, which is who you think going to win the World Cup. Me, myself, I'm a fan of soccer. So I'm watching and I'm really excited for Argentina versus France in the finals. I hope that Argentina is going to win this, just because Lionel Messi, I think he deserves it, but just, for as an icebreaker, really curious to hear your thoughts about who is going to win this. Oh, I have Grandma Joe and Susan joining. Susan from Maryland and Grandma Joe. Grandma Joe, I don't know where you are from, so maybe you'll tell us where you're from. Thank you for joining. So with that, I'll talk a little bit about the select scene and why it is important, and then we'll quickly share the video. So selecting the scene while you're going live, I think it's kinda small but very powerful and important feature, because what happened is in Evmux that before this feature, when you went live, first of all, there was kind of black screen, and then you did a transition to the first scene you wanted to play, which caused sometimes frustration for people because they really didn't want their stream to start with a black screen. Oh, Grandma Joy is from Oregon. Cool. Oregon. Oregon is Portland. Sorry. Oregon is a state. So which city? I know only Portland in Oregon. All right, never been there. Anyways, so going back to the select scene. So people were pretty frustrated of going live, and then there was a black screen for a couple of seconds until they did the transition. So we listened to people, and then we added this very nice feature. When you go live, you can select which scene will be the first scene that's playing, and you'll see in the video different scenarios, different use cases, and different ways to leverage this feature. And I'm really excited to hear your thoughts after you watch the video, and feel free to share ideas how you are leveraging this feature. And if you have any feedback, you think that we need to improve things, you have more ideas, as you know us already, we are always open to listen. So yeah, with that, I think I'll just play the video and we'll take it from there. So I'll turn off the music, and now the video is coming. Enjoy.
May I have your attention, please?
You have my attention.
You can now select your default scene for Go Live in Evmux. This is an Evmux update alert. Prior to this update, if you had a Pro Scene enabled when you went live, it would open up Program and Preview windows, and in the Program window, the one your audience is watching, it would be blank, and you would simply click the Transition button for your desired scene to be live. Now you can select from either dynamic or pro scenes to be your default when you go live. Kirk Nugent here for Evmux, your live streaming sweet spot. And in this video, we'll show you the updated feature and some insight on how best to use it. So here we are in the Evmux studio, and we're looking at a dynamic scene just to show you where this feature is, where you can select your default scene. When you go live, you simply click on the Go Live button in the top right here. You would click on this Go Live button, and as soon as you click it, you'll see the regular options for Go Live, but you'll also see something new right here that says Starting Scene. So right now I have it set to dynamic, but if I click that scene, I can select any of the scenes that I have created, whether it's my dynamic scene or any of the other pro scenes that I've created in my studio. So that is the feature in a nutshell. But what I want to do is show you 5 different scenarios that you would use this for, right? So our first scenario would be to use it for a flyer. Let's say you want to go live, you want to start on a show flyer, a thumbnail, a graphic, similar to this one. So I'm going to select this one here. This is a scene that has a flyer. And you can see just the way that I format my show, this flyer is here. So this is the scene that I would like to start with. Maybe that's something similar to you. You click on the Go Live, you select your starting scene, find that scene, which is this one, and simply select it as your default so that when you go live, that scene would automatically be the one. Okay, scenario number 2. Maybe you want to start your live stream with a countdown. So here is a countdown, and that countdown is there. So maybe you want to start your live stream with a countdown. You would simply go back to Go Live, select here, and select countdown. That will be the scene that your live show will start with when you go live. Scenario number 3. Maybe you don't want a countdown. Maybe you don't want a flyer. Maybe you want to start with an intro. And you can see here, I have an intro video. Again, you would go back to Go Live, select your starting scene, and select the intro video. This is the beauty of naming your scenes properly so that you can select them from this list and they all make sense. Scenario number 4. Maybe you want to start with a dynamic scene, not a pro scene at all, right? Not a pro scene at all. Maybe you have your dynamic scene. You just want to go live. You don't want to have to do any of the transitions. Don't want to look at program or preview. You could simply click here, go to Go Live, select your starting scene, and then look for your dynamic scene. Once you select dynamic scene, you're good to go. So when you go live, it will go live like this. But here is where scenario number 5 comes in. It's our final scenario, and this has to do with the dynamic scene. Keep in mind that the dynamic scene, unlike pro scenes, doesn't have a whole lot of scenes to select. It's literally just this one. So if you want to select your dynamic scene, you still have the ability to select, say, a flyer by simply going to overlays, putting up a flyer, let's say for your show or thumbnail, graphic, whatever, put up the full screen flyer. And when you go live, as long as dynamic scene is selected, it will go live with whatever you have on the screen at that time. And that, my friends, is the latest update. We can now select a default scene for us to be able to go live in Evmux. There's no right or wrong here. Utilize the scenario that best meets your show needs. This was one of my update requests, and Evmux has already delivered.
Awesome.
If you have any update requests or feedback on this one, be sure to leave a comment below. Learn how to best leverage all the power of Evmux.
All right. So thank you, Kirk, for an amazing video. I just love the way you explain things. I think it's super clear, and I'm really eager to hear your thoughts on this. So yeah, I think that's a good time to go through the chat first, and then we'll just take it from there. So let's see what we had here. All right, so Joanne, I call you Joanne, but it's like Joanma, and you are from Spain, so maybe it's Juanma. So you tell me. Anyways, you guys did a great job with the new banner styles. They look great now. So first of all, thank you. Secondly, this is something we're going to announce kind of officially next week. I decided not to focus on it today, although you kind of see that, but we will have a official announcement, really dive deeper on explaining about them and what you can do there, because it's not only the new style, there is also timing for the tickers and stuff like that. So stay tuned, but yeah, you saw that, so thank you very much. All right, Grandma Joe, great feature, used several times. Thank you. Yeah, I think you're the ones that really asked for it for a long time. So thank you for asking that. Jamal, hi. Happy to see you here. This is the best. Thank you very much. Darius, I love the feature. Thank you, Darius, very much. And Susan, that's perfect. So no questions. Help me here. Ask me some questions about that. Because if not, I'll have to talk about other stuff. So I'm giving you a few seconds to ask more questions, and if not, I'll say what I think about this feature and about the use cases. So Jamal is saying, amazing feature. I love that you can do this, and it's amazing. Thank you, sir. Okay, Grandma Joe, always here to help me out. A question. A help regarding banners and tickers. When it updated, it changed my tickers to black or white background rather than the blue that matched change font. In the future, we'll be able to select blue. Yeah. So definitely, we are going to add the possibility pretty soon to change the color of the ticker. We understand that the change we did changed the branding that you already had. We try to make it, in a good way, and it's good for the majority, but we understand that here and there are things like yours that you do want to make sure that you do have the flexibility you had in the past. So this feedback is exactly what we need to make sure that we improve where it needs to be done. So thank you for that, and yes, it will be added pretty soon. All right, Jamal, I'd love to be able to go live with background music. All right, I think you can. I'm not sure what are you referring to, but as far as I know, you can play the background music and then go live. I didn't try, to be honest, so correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's possible. If not, this feedback is, of course, very valuable, so let me know. In the basement. Works perfect, especially if you use it with switch to next scene. Yes, so I think this is a great opportunity to talk about the auto switch, which makes things really, really cool. So think about it, and Kirk talked in the video about different scenarios, so it helps me to talk about a specific one. let's say you are using the select first scene and you select the countdown. Okay, so countdown is something that plays for, depends on you, right? Let's say 1 minute. We're using countdown of 10 seconds. It really depends on what you prefer. And then the thing is, after the countdown, you would like to make sure that the first real scene of a video of yourself, whatever makes sense to your show, will appear. In our case, after the countdown, it's immediately me on the screen. So, with other softwares that you don't have the auto switch, you'll need to be very accurate exactly when the countdown ends. Boom, you would need to do a transition to the first scene. It's a bit frustrating because it's hard to be that accurate and to make it look professional. In Evmux, you have the auto switch. Any of you that not aware of the auto switch, there is a great video in our channel. You can just search for Evmux auto switch and you'll see a video that explaining you how from a video played in scene number 1, you can, with one click of a button, make it to auto switch once this video ends to any other scene in your show. It can be to a dynamic scene, it can be to any other pro scene you created, and then you don't have to be very accurate, very frustrated to transition exactly on time. You can just stay easy, go live. The first scene will be played automatically, which will be the countdown video, for example. And then when the countdown ends, it will transition to you immediately. Super easy, super simple. And that's exactly why the auto switch is so powerful. And it works perfectly, as In the Basement said, with the starting scene option, as long as your starting scene is some sort of video that can be auto switched to another scene. All right, what else we have here? Tyson saying, hey, good job, but when you gonna do update for the profile Facebook comment? Definitely. So working tirelessly these days to make sure that anything with Facebook is up to date, and we are leveraging the API and their privacy policy as much as we can to make sure that it's as easy as possible for you to see the name of the commenter in Facebook. Just to explain everyone, there is, for now, if you're getting comments from Facebook, you won't see the commenter unless, you won't see the name of the person unless this person will do proactive actions on their end. We're trying to make sure that we don't need proactive actions from them, and if we need, it will be part of the post you're posting to Facebook, explaining them exactly what they need to do. And then hopefully you will see as many names as possible while people commenting from Facebook. So definitely in the works. Question from Grandma Joe. Also, it changed my lower third name. Mine and one speaker are correct size. The new speaker absolutely will not change to a font that matches the other speaker and me. Help. All right. I'll definitely have to ask the developers to take a look at your account and see what happened there. I'm just thinking out loud. It might be that there is, your old lower third didn't update to any new design, and then the new lower third you created was updated. This is my take here, but definitely worth taking a look. Another thing you can do for now, I think, is just to play around with the lower thirds to make it match, because you can play with the sizes and everything. So just maybe make yourself a bit bigger versus the other. So with as you visualize it, it looks at the same size. Let me know what you think. All right, Jamal. I mean by trying to use the starter scene with background music attached in a pro scene, kind of like a manual countdown video. Okay, I hope that I understand you. If you would like the background music to be attached to a scene, what you can do is to convert it to MP4 really quickly in any converter online, free converter, and then you can add it as a layer and put this layer at the bottom so it won't be seen but just be heard. And then when you play the scene, you will hear the background music. There is also another great video from about 7-8 months ago. If you look for Evmux background music, but not the last one we uploaded, but the one before, this video explains how to add background music to a pro scene. So maybe this is what you're looking for. Grandma Joe, love the select scene as I can select the countdown when I go live and select host only scene when it is pre-recorded and I'm premiering it. I hope I read it correctly. Which YouTube hasn't its own countdown. Perfect. Yes, that's exactly the thing. So with different use cases, you use the starting scene differently. When you are recording and you don't want it to start with any countdown or stuff like that, you just want to start immediately with yourself on the screen, you can do this super easy without having even 1 second of a black screen to begin with and without needing to do any trimming afterwards. So, very powerful feature. And that's what I said, like very easy one, but very powerful. And this is another great example of a feature coming just from the feedback of the people. All right, Jamal, part 2. All right. Say I have a slideshow video of announcements with no music and want to go live with that processing first. I'd love to start the live in that way. Yeah, I think if I understand your question correctly, you're making it hard for me today. I'm trying to catch up. But yeah, you definitely can start with a slideshow. I mean, create a processing with a slideshow and then make sure to play this scene as a first scene. If you would like to have music attached to it, you'll just have to add a layer of this music and make sure that the music is at the bottom of the layer so it won't be shown as a black screen or something like that. It will just be below your slideshow but still be heard as music. I hope that makes sense. Grandma Joe, another question. I had trouble with using a transition at the end of my countdown or at the end of my video. It did not show. And it cut off a portion of me speaking. Did I do something wrong? Okay, so I guess you're talking about stinger transitions. So I recommend all of you, if you would like to use stinger transitions, there is a great video talking about stinger transitions. Look for Evmux Stinger. Look for that in our YouTube channel. With stinger transition, the key factor is to make sure that you are, because at the end of the day, it's scene number 1, stinger, scene number 2, right? So you have to make sure that you position the stinger, and when you create the stinger, you see that you can do this. You position the stinger to really cover the screen between the two scenes. And then also, I haven't seen you recording, but also when we have stingers here, you see that you can hear me, although you're not seeing me yet, because the scene was transitioned, but the stinger is still covering it. So it works flawlessly, at least for me and from all the feedback I know. Maybe we should take it even to the Facebook group community. If you can show us a quick video of what we did, of what you did, or even, some screenshots from the studio and how you set it up, so we'll be able to help. I think it's somewhere in the settings. This is my thought here, but maybe there is an issue that we need to fix. All right, Jamal, part 3. So music starts with the video as a start scene when I press live. Yes, it can. It definitely can. If you will make the music as a layer in the scene, then when the scene is being played, which can be as a starting scene, if you set it up that way, then the music will start immediately when you go live. It should work flawlessly. Let us know if you tried it. Again, in the Facebook group, feel free to share with the community. Grandma Joe, should I place some type of service ticket and where? Yeah, so I think the best way is the Facebook group for these kind of questions, because there you can share a quick video, some pictures and stuff like that. And, we can help, of course, but also other community members using stingers, maybe, they have some experience to share. I think this is the best place. And also, other people in the future looking for Stinger in our group, in our community, they will be able to see the answers you've got, and hopefully it will be resolved quickly. All right. It will not go bigger or smaller about the lower third. That is the problem. I also sent you a screenshot in the chat portion of Evmux. Just FYI, you were sending to developer then. Yes, so I sent it to the developers. And yeah, they are definitely checking for it. So this is a great opportunity to ask the developers to expedite this ticket from Grandma Joe. And we will be back to you as soon as we can to make sure that we resolve this. Really curious, why changing the size won't change the size for you. Definitely something we will look into it. All right, Jamal saying thank you. So my pleasure. Of course, this is why we do this Town Hall 4. Another thing from Jamal. I have an issue where when I'm in Chrome and I go live, my previous screen shows up, but when I transition it to the live window, it shows up for a second. All right. I don't see the rest of the comment here. It's too long, but I guess that... Do you have any co-host with you in the stream? Co-host, I mean someone with you in the studio at the same time from their computer? I'm just curious. Grandma Joe. Tuesday, I pre-recorded my live and the screen share did not work. I used the window and it has always worked in the past. I had to create it and lay it over in my editing program. All right, that's definitely a shame. It should work. I'm really curious if you try to refresh, and when you say it didn't work, like you could share but it just didn't show on the stream, what exactly happened? If you can share more details here, it will be nice. But basically all those questions, I think the best place for them is in the Facebook group, because then again we can see pictures from you. Here I cannot see any screenshots from you, and it's a bit hard for me to understand the issue, and get to the bottom of the root cause here. Okay, so it's from Jamal. Yeah, so I'd love a video on how to make Stinger's transition. There is a video. Just look for Evmux transitions on YouTube. That's about Stingers. And about the issue you said, I'm really curious if you have any co-host, because I've heard of things like that when having co-host, not anyone like it's yourself on your own on the studio. No worries. The limitations of the chat are fine, and we are just doing it easy, no problem. All right, Grandma Joe thanking me, and I thank you for all those amazing questions that just makes the town hall so much powerful. Thank you. All right, Grandma Joe. I was able to share screen and saw it on my end. However, when playing back, nothing on the screen share. All right, definitely interesting. This one, if you can email me or even DM me on Facebook your recording, because just the URL of your recording in the dashboard in Evmux, it will help us to really investigate in our logs what happened and where the connection lost was and when it was, and stuff like that. We need to really dive deeper to this. All right, Jamal, to clarify, I do have co-host. The live view shows up and then disappears. So we have to monitor from Facebook. Cool. All right. So you echoing what I thought. There is an issue sometimes, not all the time, when having two people on the stream, that for one of them, the live view doesn't show as expected. So I recommend... The question is why you have two people in the studio. If it happens to you and you don't have to have two people in the studio, it's better for now to not to do this because we are working on it. So I guess in the next week or so, we know there is an issue there. And again, it doesn't happen all the time. So if it happens to you, try to avoid it as much as you can until we will fix it next week. All right. My co-host helping sometimes put things on the screen while we are live. Sometimes I do it myself. So it can both. So you can, again, you can, but there might be the issue that you said. Co-host, I totally understand why it's so important. Sometimes it really helps to have someone helping you with the comments and stuff like that. So it's definitely something we're working on. It will be fixed in a week. A question from Grandma Joe. The recording in my project, how do I get you the URL? You just, when you go to your dashboard in Evmux and you go to the recording, exactly where you can download it, just copy the URL at the top of your browser and send me the URL in a direct message. That's it. I don't need more than that. Thanks. All right. Darius is commenting to Jamal. I do something similar with announcements. I have the background music as an MP4 file, as Elad suggested. I also have a timer on a lower layer and have it set to switch. Yeah, so Darius is one of the person that really taking Evmux to the edge and really understanding the logic behind the layers. I think for all of you, if you will take some time to understand the logic behind the layers in ProScenes, you will understand you can do crazy stuff. I'll just give you a crazy example of a use case that people barely use. Like you see me on the screen now. Let's imagine that I'm putting a layer that will be at the bottom, below the background, below myself. You won't see this layer, and it will be just a video with no audio at all, so you don't listen, you don't hear that, and you can mute videos in Evmux as well. So even if it has a video in the original file, you can mute it. And then it's a video of 5 minutes, and I would like to auto switch from this video to another scene with myself, just with another background. Just think about it. Just think about it, how nice it could be that I will change backgrounds every 5 minutes automatically. This is something you can do with layers and with auto switching and achieve crazy stuff. Darius is really leveraging it, and I recommend you all to play around and really understand the power of playing with the layers, the cropping, what's at the up and what at the bottom, and just play around with it, with the auto switching, cropping and stuff like that. It's super, super powerful and kind of, beyond imagination what you can do. All right, what else we have here? Jamal. It really does help to have a co-host helping. I couldn't agree more. That's why we do have this feature in our pro plans. We call it collaborators, but yeah, co-hosts, super powerful in many use cases. So I'm glad you guys are on top of it for sure. Thanks so much for all you guys are doing. Evmux keep getting even better. Definitely. Thank you for that. We're working days and nights to make Evmux the best we can, stable with crazy features, listening to the community as much as we can, and just, working hard, working fast, but trying to do things slick, because at the end of the day, stability is the most important thing. All right, they're just liking the idea. Thank you, man. Good to have you all here. So, okay, this is exactly on time, I think, to end it up for tonight. And another great opportunity to ask all of you to like, subscribe. Let me do this. All right, I have it as a welcome. So welcome again, and like, subscribe. Join us in the Facebook group. It really helps for the community to have more people, more creators asking questions, answering each other's. It's so exciting to see that happen. I think we're close to 1,000 people in the community on Facebook. It's amazing how we are growing, and super, super happy about that. All right, there is someone in the chat saying the computer broke and you can't use Evmux anymore. I hope you will get a new computer soon or get it fixed. Also, of course, we're working on making Evmux, the studio of Evmux, also available on mobile. For now, it's available only for the guests on mobile. But yeah, working as hard as we can to make it work. So thank you everyone for joining. And with that, I think that I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great week. Next one will be with some announcements. So stay tuned and take care. Stay safe. See you next week.
All right, I'm live. That was easy.